As part of our public service advocacy, being the nation's public service channel, UNTV aired in full the Senate hearing today on the National Vaccination Program. But we would also want to backtrack the highlights from the previous hearing. The role of tripartite agreements with the government in giving way for the local government units and the private sector. DOH to receive all vaccines upon arrival in Philippines for inspection. Government can still cancel vaccine purchase if recommended by Chinese experts panel, and using two different brands of COVID-19 vaccine to complete inoculation is not recommended, according to Dr. Dulo Bravo, the chairperson of the Philippine Medical Association's Ad Hoc Committee on Vaccination. Here are the highlights in today's third and final hearing. The Senate Committee of the Whole on the government's COVID-19 vaccination plan today, Vaccine Czar Carlito Galvez Jr. assured that all negotiations and agreements are above board and free from corruption. He also vowed to divulge the vaccine prices once the negotiations with vaccine manufacturers are finalized.
We promise to reveal the exact prices and other details of our negotiations in due time as we firm up our agreements.
The senators agreed not to reveal through the hearing the exact prices of Chinese pharmaceutical firm Sinovac's vaccine while the negotiations are still ongoing. But Senate Minority Leader Franklin Drilon said it must be announced the moment the supply agreement is signed.
There is a commitment that since these are public funds, we reconfirm the position of the Senate President that he will be one with us in compelling the publication of the price after the supply agreement is signed with Sinovac for better public order.
Some lawmakers also asked for clarity about Sinovac vaccine due to its supposed lack of transparency and varying reports on efficacy rate. According to the Food and Drug Administration, one of the factors is the different target population in the clinical trials.
Yun pong sa Brazil, ginawa siya sa healthcare workers, pero yung sa Indonesia and yung sa Turkey, ginawa po sa general population. Meron din po akong napansin na konting pagkakaiba yung mga age group na kasama doon sa mga study per country. Factors like this can affect the efficacy rates and the outcomes and the results of a study.
The committee invited Sinovac Biotech, but no one attended the hearing. Meanwhile, Health Secretary Francisco Duque III has called on the senators to legislate the indemnification fund for vaccinees who will suffer from adverse side effects. For now, the DOH says there will be a monitoring and referral system for those who will experience side effects. Senator Joel Villanueva suggested to study the creation of case rates for the treatment of vaccinees.
Ang PhilHealth po ang sasagot naman kung may mga matinding side effects. Sana po wala, pero hindi po natin masabi dahil bago po itong bakulang ito. So anything is possible, but we will make sure that we will be very careful in the administration of these vaccines. So balanced billing is the objective.
Galvez also requested to senators to allow the local government units to make advance market payments for the procurement of vaccines and to exempt the vaccines from taxes. Senator Amy Marcos recently filed Senate Bill number 1988, which aims to exempt COVID-19 vaccines that will be procured by the LGUs and the private sector from import duties and fees. On the other hand, when asked by Senator Risa Hontiveros for an assurance that the purchase of vaccines from China will not affect the Philippines' claim in the West Philippine Sea, Galvez said they will not compromise the country's stake.
Every country wanted to help our global pandemic. So meaning ang po ng lahat ng mga countries yung ano natin, itatawag natin yun, yung ating mga differences on the West Philippine Sea should be set aside because this is a global pandemic.
So I'm simply asking for a reassurance, Mr. President, Secretary, na hindi natin babawasan yung ating pagtaguyod ng national interest sa West Philippine Sea para dito, kahit dito sa usapin ng pagbili ng vaccine sa China. That's the only reassurance I'm seeking, Mr. President. Medyo na gulat ako dun sa sinabing set aside our differences in the West Philippine Sea. Hindi po yan quid pro quo, Mr. President.
I would like to make a clarification. We will not compromise our stake,
Thank
but
you.
meaning in this pandemic, telling the public that our selection of the vaccine is science-based.
The Department of Foreign Affairs also assured there is no strings attached in the vaccine deal with China.